Hey guys, it's KJM, and you know what time it is. It's time for another brand new Hallmark New Year, New Movie review. So we're finally in Loveuary, and Hallmark is doing a Jane Austen theme all month long. Alright, I'm gonna take a breath. I am not a Jane Austen fan, whether it was Pride and Prejudice or Sense and Sensibility. You either are a fan or you're not. But my biggest issue with the start off of this theme for Loveuary is, one, I think it's a miss to focus on one particular author in Loveuary. If you wanted to bring literary authors to life with their stories, you could have chosen a different book and different author every Saturday in the month of February. So that's one. I think it's definitely a miss focusing in on Jane Austen. Two, I think whether you're a Jane Austen fan or not, the movie should speak to everyone as if they are being introduced to her for the very first time. Now, they've already played with Jane Austen books. We've seen it in Unleashing Mr. Darcy, Marrying Mr. Darcy, Christmas at Pemberley Manor. We're so used to seeing like Ryan Purvey as Mr. Darcy. So I know some people are kind of sad that he's not going to be in every single movie. So we've played with this theme before, but now we're doing an entire month. Now, I went under the Hallmarky comments. A lot of people were saying they were loving the movie and they are Jane Austen fans. Some people were saying they do not like the movie and they're not a Jane Austen fan. I'm going to tell you right now, not a Jane Austen fan, but I'm also the type of person who would debate somebody who said that, Mark Twain was a literary genius, because I had to read a lot of his work and I often was left bewildered and saying like, WTF, like what did I just read? But we'll put Twain aside, we'll go right back to Austen. Not a fan. And the start off of this first movie, I'm honestly wondering if Hallmark is about to bore us to tears, not only in Black History Month, but in Loveuary. And I have some thoughts about this. So let me start off by saying I like Mallory Jansen ever since I saw her in her Pen Pal. Loved her. She did well with the French theme. She did well with, quoting Audrey Hepburn. Paris is always a good idea. That fit her well. In this theme, I just felt like it wasn't her best movie. I love Will Kemp, and once again, you guys are not giving him movies where he can really shine, from the 2023 till now we're in 2024. So I love the two leads, and because I love the two leads and I'm not a Jane Austen fan, I gave this movie a 7 out of 10, meaning if you have time and you want to check it out, go ahead. But my critique is this Loveuary and this theme should be able to speak to a new audience, even if they've never read Jane Austen or even if they don't like her work. I liked Unleashing Mr. Darcy. I love Christmas at Pemberley Manor, and I'm not a Jane Austen fan. So something in this writing was kind of flat. I wanted to care about Eloise. I wanted to care about her sister Mia. I wanted to care about Sam / Mr. Darcy, aka Will Kemp. I wanted to care about the storyline. Shout out to Princeton University. Shout out to my home state of New Jersey. I wanted to love this and I wanted to love the theme, but I know some of you are not a fan of the Wedding Veil trilogies, but the second Wedding Veil trilogies last year premiered, I think, all the way through January, and the Loveuary was just like a bunch of different movies. Sweeter Than Chocolate, I think, was one of them, or something like that, and that was really good. So I find myself missing diversity, and I feel like Hallmark is about to bore me to tears in Loveuary. And I'm hoping that's not true. Next week up is going to be Alison Sweeney, and I love her. She's a super strong actress. We love her on Hallmark, and I'm hoping she can deliver a movie that I can get through without scrolling on my phone. I am not a huge scroller. Megan's usually the scroller. I usually will try to get up and watch these movies early in the morning and give it my full attention, and I did that with this movie, and paging Mr. Darcy just felt flat. the writing. I didn't really care about the characters. Even the ending love scene where, you know, Mia's fiance finally gives her that romantic proposal. I didn't even give a damn about that. I just wanted the movie to end. But I need you guys to check it out and, you know, really tell me what you think. So for these Jane Austen themed movies, I'm going to try to score them all a 7 or above because I'm not a fan. Like, I'm going in with some biases, right? But I will say this, I'm not a fan of winter movies, and there's been movies like The Winter Getaway that I really loved. There may be some themes that they do in Christmas that I don't think I'm gonna like, and then I fall in love with it. I think it was a miss to do one author the entire month. I also think it's a miss to have any script that wouldn't speak to someone seeing this for the first time who has no freaking clue who Jane Austen is, has no clue about Pride and Prejudice, has no clue about Sense and Sensibility. I just think it would have been smarter. So, Paging Mr. Darcy, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. And I think I'm being as fair as I can for someone who's not a Jane Austen fan and someone who loves the two leads. All right, let's get into this convoluted storyline that we need to care about. So we see Eloise. She arrives at a conference where she's going to be a keynote speaker on the Sunday. So she's there for the weekend. There's a bunch of activities where she's got to step into the period piece. She's got to step into the time of Pride and Prejudice. And so here's my issue. When you're going to be a keynote speaker at a conference, for those who don't know, you generally get the entire schedule for the conference. Like, you generally get it, and you know what events are going to be taking place. Even when you go to music festivals. You know, I went to BRT in 2022 in Atlantic City, and BRT weekend, I had a whole schedule of what each day, like what the themes were going to be. Now, whether I remember to look at that schedule or not, that's whatever. But if you're going to be a keynote speaker, you should look at the event and actually see if you want to participate in the weekend. So it kind of pissed me off that Eloise arrived and she already didn't want to participate in dressing up for the era, the dancing, but she would participate in the food. I mean, and she's supposed to be this literary professor that Jane Austen is her focus, and she bleeds all things Jane Austen. And she kind of hid behind the whole thing of being kind of an introvert, and she doesn't like to let the, you know, the limelight shine on her. Honey, note to self, you're going to be a keynote speaker. That's all eyes on you. You need to get it together. So the fact that she brought her grumpy ass to this conference and didn't want to participate kind of pissed me off, because as a keynote speaker, you can turn things down. She did, you know, go to the conference because she wants to get a job at Princeton University. Mrs. Jennings, or Professor Jennings, which is Sam's aunt, is the person that can help her get this job. So I think that's why she takes the keynote speaking, you know, opportunity. But my thing is, go big or go home. You either want to participate in the conference or you don't. You weren't forced to be there. Some of us have to go to conferences because it's just like required. You're going there because your dream job, this conference can make your dream job happen. Anyway, Sam, aka Mr. Darcy, picks her up from the airport. He is already in character, and the whole movie, for the most part, he is in Mr. Darcy gear. But then for the final ball, he was in like some regular slacks and a white shirt. I was kind of confused about that, but okay. I was like, now the ball is focused on the entire period piece era. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so Eloise's sister arrives because she's mad that her fiance proposed to her, and then he didn't give her a romantic proposal. And I read some of the Hallmarky comments about that. Actually, when I do a part 2, I'll talk about Mia, Eloise's sister, and some of my issues with that character, and some of my issues with the comments. But anyway, basically, Mr. Darcy tries very hard to get Eloise to participate in the conference. She does. They start to like each other, though I didn't see too much chemistry between the two characters, like natural chemistry. And it almost looks like her sister Mia is going to try to steal Mr. Darcy away. But really, Mia's focus is really on her fiance or her soon-to-be fiance that botched the proposal. I mean, at the end, Eloise gets the job and she falls in love with Mr. Darcy, but I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. All right, I'm going to do a part 2 on this, which I'm surprised I have to, but I have some more stuff to say. So see you in part 2.